up?
What's good, everybody?
Hi, everybody.
Why was that so delayed?
Why was it? I didn't know I was a call and response. I didn't know I was going to have to say anything. I thought you were going to keep going.
Anyway, what's good, everybody? My name is John.
Because you usually do that.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
And then you did, and I was put on the spot. I have very little improv training. And what I do have is from middle school. I'm not equipped.
And we all know that's where people learn the peak of comedy is in middle school. Although
that is where my comedy peaked.
The peak of comedy in middle school, at least in the areas I grew up in.
Yeah.
Maybe not so great. Maybe not very funny.
No.
Anyway, tell the people who you are, Kendra.
I'm Kendra. Well, yeah. But yeah, he's right. I'm Kendra.
And welcome to another edition of Ringside. And you know what, guys? It's been a long time.
It has been a long time.
Without you, my friends. It's been a crazy few weeks since the last time we've dropped an episode.
Yeah.
Lots happened, both in our lives as well as this once great nation, right? We took a trip to Colorado. That was really cool.
We did. We got to go to Colorado because my sister got married. Congratulations! So I have a brother-in-law now. And it was so funny because less than a week after they got back from getting married, I was already calling him up. Hey, I need your truck for something.
Hey.
That's brother privilege.
That's right.
So.
Who says we can't benefit from their
union,
their nuptials?
I'm more excited about me and my expanded access to a big truck because it comes in handy.
And they don't live super far either.
No.
Like, hey,
call them up whenever.
I'll buy you a pub sub.
Truly. And here's the thing, I didn't get them anything. So
yeah, but you know
did
what?
it.
Hey, them's the breaks, right?
Sorry, that's family. Sorry.
Gotta do it. We
You
all
knew
know
what you
that's
signed
most
up for.
important. The election happened, you know.
Yeah. We were riding such a high. We went to Colorado. We saw my sister get married.
We saw elk.
It was beautiful there. It was snowing. We got to ring in the Christmas time festivities with like driving through the snow and listening to Christmas music because Christmas time for us starts November 1st. And then we come back, and the next day after we come back, something very, very bad and sad and scary happened.
Yeah, we won't beat around the bush. You know what? We've been pretty apolitical, and I'm not saying this was going to be the whole episode, but like we were very upset by the election results.
Have we been
and if you weren't,
apolitical?
check yourself.
Yeah, I'm not going to like come on here and bash people for the way that they voted, but
No.
for me, that result was very sad and scary and terrifying. So lots to think of. I don't know how apolitical you can be with your face and your skin, and I can be with my skin and my hair.
Yeah.
Sorry. If this is news to you, I don't know where the fuck you've been.
Yeah.
But
well, welcome to the fucking party.
Sorry.
Season 2 of The End of the World, right?
I hope not.
Yeah, I know. Hey, here's to hoping for the best, preparing
You
for the
just
worst.
keep trying to get me to cheers you.
I really, you know what?
It's like the third time.
Well, are you going to... I feel like Jay Gatsby when you first see him at the party, and he's like...
Yeah. Yeah.
In some more fun news, more of this fun update. Over on the TikTok app, in TikTok land, you know, we've been on TikTok for a hot minute now, right?
Years.
And this last week, we've gone up like, and for us, this is a lot. We've gone up like over 200, almost closer to 300 followers in the last like several days. Because of a series of TikToks. So it started a couple weeks ago. Actually, when we were in Colorado, or just before we went to Colorado, because I was doing all this Warriors content, right? Shout outs to Lin-Manuel Miranda, Issa Davis. Love your album. So it started there. And then in the last couple of days, it's been because of this somewhat funny Stone Cold impression I've been doing.
No, your Stone Cold impression is definitely funny.
Thank you.
And the bit is, I can't remember. I can't remember the guy's username. Do you remember his name?
It's, hang on, because I do want to get this right.
Okay.
It's important to me.
John was inspired by someone else's TikTok. We're going to get his name now.
Delamamani Comedy.
There you go.
I apologize if I'm not saying that correctly. At Delamamani Comedy on TikTok. His TikTok was very funny. Where he was talking about the election and just saying it's popularity contest time. We got to run AOC and Stone Cold Steve Austin ticket. So I thought that was very funny.
It is funny. So hold on.
What did you do?
Hold on. Yeah, I unplugged my microphone.
Is it still coming up?
It's back on.
Okay.
Apologies for that one, guys. That was crazy. But no, it's a really funny idea, and John kind of ran with it with this really funny skit. Made even funnier because, of course, he's, as Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's bald.
Gotta be bald.
So this filter is every time John records one of these videos, his hair's out to here. This filter is trying. It is struggling to cover everything. Yeah, so it's funny because it slips sometimes.
There's a couple comments that are like, my favorite one I think was that filter's fighting for its life.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them. There was one that was like bordering on mean, but I was like, I think it's just the way I'm reading it. It's making it sound meaner than it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm like, it's funny enough. The TikToks that have been getting the most attention have been musical theater and or wrestling related, because some of these TikToks that are blowing up, well, in terms of our
blowing up is very relative to us.
So it's not like viral, like millions of views, but the Stone Cold one's getting like in the hundreds of thousands of views. I think it's over almost 300,000 views at this point, which is big for us, right? But yeah, it's funny just seeing it's either some of the TikToks have been about how wrestling is a lot like theater, and it's just funny that those are the ones that are like doing well, because we've been doing this a long time, and sometimes we talk about this stuff, the same stuff we talk about on the podcast, like shows and movies and stuff, but a lot of people do that, so it's just funny. Anyway, it's just a fun little observation, and it's been fun for me. So if you are new to the podcast, welcome. Hope you enjoy getting more of us in your everyday lives.
What I will say too, that I think has been, I don't know, you hear this advice all the time for a lot of different things, like a watched pot never boils.
Right.
Kind of. Like, I personally, because John is 100% the showrunner of Ringside and everything Perez Periodico, I sit here and I talk a little bit and I'm done.
Kind of video producer over there. Yeah. You make sure all the stuff for the stream and the...
Yeah, I do like some of that technical stuff, but like all of the social media stuff is all John. Because I believe the way to be more successful, and I'm not saying we are successful at social media. We are not yet. But the way to be more successful, I think, is to not think too hard. There's so many people who are like pushing like courses and stuff, like how to gain attention. And what I find works the best is when John like sits down and does something off the cuff. Like I'm cooking dinner and he's like, oh, this would be a funny idea. And in 5 minutes he makes it. And those are what seem to like really do well.
Yeah. The other day I popped up, I drove to work. And as I was driving to work, I was like, "Oh, this could be kind of funny," because I was thinking of Les Mis.
Mm-hmm. You just filmed it.
I recorded a 12-second TikTok in my car.
Yeah, before work.
And where I started singing something from Les Mis, and that's another one. I got over 100 followers from that one.
Yeah,
and over 60,000 views on that. I was like, "Cool, guys! Like, that's cool."
Like,
I didn't know it was that easy.
It kind of comes in waves. Like when I was growing up, the thing was like relatability.
Right.
People just turning on their cameras and going. Vlogs started becoming really popular. And then we got into this era, especially like beauty YouTube, where like super overproduced, structured content
Right.
was like what was getting the most attention. And we still kind of see that now, I would say, with like video essays, like any Mike's Mike video. I love it. And that's like really structured. He has like a script. He has props sometimes. But I think we've swung back now where the overproduced stuff feels disingenuous.
Right.
And people are trying to, especially when we're in like financial crisis and everyone's depressed and it's not a good time. People just want to like relate to other people.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just very interesting to see these trends, especially from someone who's like, I'm not really doing anything with it. I'm just an observer.
Right.
And sometimes I give you suggestions based on like what I've seen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's very interesting. I don't like thinking of like statistics. I don't like reading comments.
Right. I enjoy the comments because I mean, it's kind of unavoidable for me, or unavoidable.
Yeah.
For me, because I get all these notifications as I open the app. So
that's true. And you're good about responding to people too.
I'm sorry?
You're good about responding to people when they comment.
Yeah. One, because I like to engage with them, but also it's for those types of TikToks, I do enjoy seeing other people. I mean, this is the performer in me, right? I enjoy when other people enjoy what I put out there.
You also got ideas.
Yeah. There are people who put in things and I'm like, oh, that would actually be really funny to use. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. And I try to like, if I do that, I'll try and like do the video as like a reply to the comments so that they get that credit too. Yeah. But anyway, it's been an interesting week on TikTok. So like I said, if you are here from any of those TikToks, welcome. We talk about a bunch of different shit here. Hopefully you enjoy some of it. And just the last little check-in. Again, way to kind of put a stinger on the weekend, or the beginning of the weekend. Actually, I had to think about it all weekend. Like many of you all, we watched the Paul Tyson fight.
Yeah.
Had a great time watching SmackDown.
So we dual wielded the TV and the iPad to watch SmackDown and this boxing event at the same time. And it was really interesting because I've never seen anything boxing related. Never, ever. I like wrestling because the object of the game isn't to hurt people. And I don't like seeing people get hurt. Right. But I still like watching people fight.
Yeah.
So that's how wrestling fits. But the boxing stuff was really interesting. First of all, it looked so much like WWE.
Yeah.
They had like a ramp that they walked out on. They had music that they came out to. All the music was horrible. Who's picking that music? It was all bad.
The theatrics, we that's why we praise the theatrics all the time. Yes, of course, we love a good wrestling match. When the wrestling is good and supplements the story that's happening. But the theatrics, they make it.
And these you can tell the difference between like performers and like fighters, like athletes. Like that's all they do.
Right.
Because none of those people were performers. I'll give them that much.
No personality.
Whatever. They don't. But also that's like not what they trained. Right. They didn't train.
They don't have dedicated acting classes they go to.
Yeah. So it was really interesting. The women's match that I can't remember who was Serrano and
Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor.
Yeah. That was
incredible.
Good. That was like the one, because that was right after SmackDown ended, so we could actually pay attention to it.
Right.
That one was like, I can understand why people get into it. It was fast paced. It had like lore because they had been fighting for so long, and one of them had to like jump 3 weight classes or whatever just to compete, and she got her fucking eye ripped off, not fully, but like it might have it was so fucking gross. Right. I hated
it with Vaseline.
I hated that part. But yeah, that was like really compelling and cool, and like there was history to it, because in the UK, or was it just Ireland, women couldn't there was a period of time where women couldn't box.
She had to like pretend to be a boy.
Yeah. How Joan of Arc coded.
Yeah. Don't tell J.K. Rowling. She's going to be pissed. Fuck her. Yeah, fuck her.
But seeing that, and then seeing the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. Okay, here's the thing. It was so cool to be able to see Mike Tyson, like live, see Mike Tyson come out to the ring to box. Because, like, when did he first retire?
I mean, it's got to have been in the 90s. I think. I'm not as familiar.
Yeah. But, like, I was either not born or a child. And again, this is the first time I've watched anything boxing. So it was cool to have that opportunity probably for the last time.
Yeah, I assume so.
And all things considered, again, he's 58. He went through some serious health stuff.
And that health stuff was this year. Like, that wasn't
like earlier this year.
Yeah.
And he still managed to get in this ring. He went 8 rounds.
With someone who's
half of his age. and skilled. But one, the match was boring. Sorry, the match was boring. 2, it made me feel weird watching it.
Yeah.
Because, like, Mike Tyson, age-wise, isn't too far off from my dad.
Yeah.
And it's like, that could be my dad in there.
Right.
I mean, getting beat up by some kid. But then I think about, like, oh, they made, like, millions of dollars. So
yeah. I think he walked away with, I think the number I'm hearing is $20 million to take a loss.
So it's like, I don't feel that bad. But right. It was just an interesting vibe to the end of the night.
Yeah. And as much as I don't like Jake Paul, and I don't think he's... Now listen, could Jake Paul very much kick my ass in a boxing match?
Yes.
10,000%. 1, he's had training. 2, sure, I work out. That dude's fucking big.
He is big.
He gained so much weight for this fight alone. Like, that is a big fucking dude. So I'm not gonna, and we say it here all the time, as much as we dislike the Pauls, not gonna knock them for their dedication to what they do. Okay?
Truly.
So, but with that said, I don't think he's like a super skilled boxer.
And I also think that he knows he's not at that level yet.
Right.
That's why he chooses the people he chooses to fight against.
Right.
Like grandparents.
Now, is he fucking strong? Yes. He's proven that. He's knocked people out. Like, he is a strong person. He could have hurt Mike Tyson in there. I fully believe.
Yeah.
Again, man's old enough. Man is someone's peepaw, right? So I will say, all things considered, and this might have been a stipulation, in their contracts, however, quote unquote, staged you might want to believe this is. But I can appreciate that if we're taking it at face value, he could have made the intentional choice to hurt Mike Tyson in there and didn't.
Yeah. And
in the last 10 seconds of the match, he could have gone in for those super strong punches and instead chose not to, showed respect. So I will give him that. I still do not like the man. But I can respect that choice was made either before or in the middle of the match.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if this is something he's serious about, to respect and honor a legend, a living legend of the sport in the moment, like, I think that will earn him a lot of points with people. He just has to box contemporaries, like actual boxers and like contemporaries. And I think he will get more respect from the boxing community, which we were purely guests over the weekend.
Oh yeah, we are not part of the boxing community. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
I enjoy boxing when I do watch it occasionally.
I don't understand the rules and the points.
Right.
What are we doing?
What are we doing, guys?
Is it just like
punch, punch, punch?
Looked good, 9 out of 10. I don't know. I don't get it.
But anyway, so I can see why people will think it's like, man, it's kind of sad watching Mike Tyson in the ring. But again, he's 50 and he's in incredible shape for a 58.
100%.
Like for a retired boxer. Not that 58-year-olds can't be in incredible shape.
No.
But to be a fighter like that, he's in incredible shape.
And he was moving really well.
But at the end of the day, like he retired decades ago, you know? So I don't think it should come as that much of a surprise that he was moving the way he was moving. But anyway, yeah. I just want to see Jake Paul or any of them. At least Logan Paul, as much as I fucking don't like him either. He does what he does in WWE. He does it well. He takes it seriously. He's in an actual promotion, right?
Yeah.
Let's see Jake Paul do the same thing, you know?
And you know what? You can say Jake Paul isn't at professional boxer caliber yet. The only reason we turned on that match was to see his match. Like, we tuned into the event. One, because we already have Netflix, so it was free. Two, to watch that match.
Well, we were there to watch Tyson.
That match.
Yeah.
Who set up that match?
Mike Tyson and Jake Paul.
Do you think it was Mike Tyson calling up Jake Paul? I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but I don't think so. So it's like, you hate to agree with him in that he is bringing an audience to the table.
I mean, he's doing a lot for the sport. I got to give it to him. You hate to say it. You could say the same thing for Logan Paul. He does a lot for WWE. There's a reason Prime is in the middle of the ring at every PLE now.
Does he do a lot for WWE?
He brings a lot of eyes to a lot of social media.
That's true.
I'm not gonna not give him his flowers for that.
I would just say I don't know. I feel like a lot of his audience, being children, are kind of already watching WWE. Might just have been like a good opportunity to go after the same group of people.
Yeah.
And his name's in the ring because he paid a lot of money.
Yeah. But I don't know.
But
I don't think you're giving him enough credit for it.
He does get a lot of social media attention. I'll give you that.
And that's what's driving the boat right now. These
days.
It drove the election.
Oh.
It did.
It did.
So anyway, moving on. Let's go to our first. We're going to try and blow through these main stories here. Staying in the realm of WWE. Listen, I know a lot of people are excited about it. We're excited about it. Bloodline War Games. Mm-hmm. Survivor Series right around the corner. Thanksgiving weekend. A lot to be thankful for. Okay? Including family. Just like the rest of us. The Bloodline is no stranger to family squabbles around the holidays. Yeah, this story is one that I think, especially at the time of this recording, this is on a Sunday before Monday Night Raw. So we don't know what's going to happen on Monday Night Raw yet. We avoided spoilers since they did that double taping. But going off of Friday, they threw a complete curveball with the addition of Bronson Reed into the Bloodline story.
Yes, but also a curveball that you called.
I was just talking shit.
You're just like, shit. Who else is Samoan on this roster? So,
but it's like this Bloodline story has been heating up ever since, Roman's return and then Jimmy's return, Jay coming back into the fold with the Bloodline story, Sammy's involved. So it's like, yes, and a lot of people. I'm sorry. You know what I said? What I saw on TikTok today? I saw a Solo Sikoa edit. Like people, because people were so quick after that first promo he tried to do as the new tribal chief, dogging him online left and right, and like
undeserved. That's your future,
right?
That's your future leader.
And now we're doing a complete 180. People are making fan edits of him
because he's done so well.
He's so good right now.
He's good.
And the more comfortable he is, like you can see, like I don't know, I feel like you can see him in real time getting so much more comfortable in it.
I agree. Same with Tongaloa. He's fine. He's doing well.
Kendra's favorite wrestler.
I wouldn't go that far, but he's doing okay.
But like, I know a couple weeks ago when the Motor City Machine Guns challenged the Bloodline for the tag titles, like there was one of them was saying something on the mic, any place, anytime, and Solo Sikoa just mocked him right there on the spot. Like, okay, that's the shit people like to see.
Yeah. Remember when Jimmy and Jay would sometimes do their white voice? Yeah. That was pretty funny.
It was kind of like that.
It was kind of like that, yeah.
So anyway, the story's been heating up, and I don't know. It's like I know a lot of people at first were like not super into it because they wanted Roman back and they wanted blah, blah, blah. Like now the whole gang's here, the story's heating up, and now the addition of Bronson Reed. I don't know. I had said that when we were watching Raw, but I did not expect it, because I kind of drank the Kool-Aid like a lot of other people. I'm like, oh, there's that new member of their family joining NXT.
Right.
You know, there's a couple, and like I sometimes have to remind myself to not be I think what the IWC says is a total mark, right?
Oh, like gullible?
Yeah. Where they're like, oh, this person, like Zilla Fatu and this person's gonna, Hikuleo are gonna join the Bloodline War Games. I'm like, I have to remind myself, we wrestling nerds, we casuals, whatever, however you want to say it. Not casuals, because actually casuals are the ones who are mostly watching this fucking thing. And the people who are like deep in it, they watch several promotions and indies and stuff. That is not the vast majority of a WWE audience. Like, and I'm not saying that as a dig. We don't watch multiple promotions. We watch, I'll watch clips of like AEW and New Japan and stuff like on YouTube or on TikTok and stuff like that. But I don't sit down, like there's just too much to consume out there.
Yeah.
I'm excited when TNA pops up on WWE, but I don't go out of my way to watch TNA. Again, no dig at that. No dig if you do that. Just don't have the time or the mental capacity to
it's a
handle
lot
that
to
much.
keep track of.
But that's like not the majority of fans. So I don't think they're going to launch those people that no one's ever heard of into that big of a story, because these are essentially all like their biggest superstars are going to be, a lot of their biggest superstars are going to be in this one match. I don't think you want to throw in people they haven't worked with into a situation with two fucking cages.
Yeah.
And names that not a lot of people are familiar with yet. Even the Tama Tonga, when he showed up, it was at the end of like a SmackDown, not in the middle of a match. Jacob Fatu, end of a SmackDown, not in the middle of a match. Made them look really strong, made them look really good. But not throwing them into the Lion's Den right away.
Right.
Right? So, anyway, I drank the Kool-Aid a little bit and I was like, oh, maybe it is going to be them. Like, that'd be kind of cool. This makes perfect sense, especially with his storyline with Seth Rollins. The Bloodline tried to ask Seth to join the group for this match. It's kind of seeming like that's what's going to happen now. And all the stories make perfect sense. So, anyway, I don't know. I'm super excited for Bloodline War Games. I don't know about you, Kendra.
Of course I'm excited. Do you see this? Of course I'm excited. I also thought it was really interesting and compelling storytelling for SmackDown to basically have an end credit scene where Roman is trying to call the wise man only to discover his number is out of service. Paul Heyman changed his phone number and didn't give it to Roman Reigns. That's crazy. So what does that mean?
He's being hunted in Saskatchewan.
John floated the idea that maybe his phone was destroyed by Brock Lesnar. And my thing was like, oh, Brock Lesnar invited Paul Heyman over. Hey, Paul, like, come hang out with us, have some dinner, stay the night in our mansion, I presume.
Come over for dinner.
And then Paul gets there. He is the dinner. Paul's running around in some forest, and Brock Lesnar's behind him with one of those bows that's on the trigger.
Crossbow.
A crossbow.
Brock the Hunter out there.
It's really deep promo for Craven that they're doing.
What if Brock Lesnar was the big bad of Craven the Hunter? He's like, this is the greatest beast I can slay.
Okay, so does he have an accent?
He's supposed to.
I couldn't tell I couldn't tell if he had an accent or if he was just doing a bad American accent over his British accent. But his American accent's pretty good.
Yeah. Anyway, we're not here to talk about
We're not here to talk about fucking Craven the Hunter, not yet. Have you guys seen those trailers? Oh my god. I was telling John, one of them came on and I said, it should be illegal to look like that. That's fucking crazy. Anyway, back to Brock Lesnar. Well, really back to Paul Heyman. I don't know what that means going forward. If we can't get in touch with Paul, who was Roman? Okay, make the call. Was the call Paul? Was Paul going to make the second call?
I mean, maybe, but listen.
Paul can't join. unless this whole time Paul Heyman has been working his ass off, getting fit, getting ring ready to come back and join the old bloodline.
Paul Heyman's the fifth guy.
Paul Heyman's the fifth guy. I think you're right. I think it probably is going to be Seth Rollins. I don't know how the fuck they're going to pull that together.
Well, here's the thing. If they can't get a hold of Paul before Survivor Series, I know we have pre-preview coming up soon. I'm going to call it right now. I don't think OG Bloodline's winning that one. I think
probably, yeah.
If Paul Heyman's not there to give his special counsel to your tribal chief, I don't think OGs are winning that one because they still aren't on the same fucking page.
They're all disjointed, especially if you bring in Seth Rollins. Honestly, if you bring in
Jay's
anybody
bad enough.
else. Stop.
What?
Stop. There's nothing wrong with Jay.
Okay,
Jay's not the problem.
We're just glossing over the fact, and they did this on the following Raw as well.
Everyone's glossing over it.
Glossing over the fucking fact that Jay cost them the match.
I don't recall it that way.
I mean, he did. He wasn't working well. He wasn't working well with Roman. He refused to tag Roman in. We're just not talking about that.
Maybe he had his reasons.
Yeah, he was being
petty. Anyway, if it's not Seth Rollins, who do you think the final member of the OG bloodline will be? A lot of people are saying Cody Rhodes.
If it's Cody Rhodes, I'm gonna fucking
I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind.
And listen, I'm not even saying that as a certified Cody hater,
which we are.
In complete kayfabe, okay? Kayfabe.
I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
I'm just so sick of seeing him. Put him away.
You know what? Remember when Roman was champ back in the good old days, right?
And seeing him was like a gift.
And like he wasn't defending every week or every PLE.
Every other month.
And people would fucking complain.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a part-timer as a...
There was a reason for that. It's so you don't get
Cody Rhodes hasn't
fucking
defended his title in 2 months. Where are we at, guys? Where's that energy?
That's crazy because it feels like he defends his title all the time because I see him all the goddamn time. I'm sick of him.
So, like... But where's that energy?
Well... What now?
So anyway,
so
I don't know. I really do think it's going to be Seth.
It would be so bizarre if it wasn't.
Yeah, I think at this point, I don't know that Cody would team up with them. I mean, that last time he teamed with Roman, that was his whole thing with Nick Aldis. He was like, I'm done with the bloodline. I think they're pretty serious about that. I think the next time Cody's involved is if Roman is challenging for the title or if he's going up against The Rock.
Yeah. Plus, Cody has all this other team-up stuff happening.
Yeah,
team-up gone wrong.
With Kevin Owens right now, which I am actually very excited about.
I do like that.
But, yeah, I don't know. I genuinely, I have no other ideas on who they could get in there. I mean, I guess if they were, I don't want them to do this. If they were going to go the Cody Rhodes route, he was tag team champs with Jay at one point.
Oh my God, I fucking forgot about that. I forgot about that.
So,
wow.
I could maybe see Jay calling in one last favor.
Jay already called in a favor.
Yeah.
So Sammy.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But either way, I liked it. I don't know. I mean, even though I'm pretty sure it's going to be Seth, but I like the Seth angle.
Not knowing, yeah.
I like the Seth angle. And again, if Seth's on the team and there's no wise man, I don't think they're winning this match. But we'll get to that in our pre-preview. Check us out on the 30th.
I have one more thing.
Oh, please.
If Roman managed to get a telegram, postcard, smoke signal to Paul Heyman.
A singing gram.
One of those carrier pigeons. If he manages to get some kind of communication to Paul Heyman, do you think there's any chance we're getting finally Bloodline Brock?
I've been saying this for years that the next logical step for Brock is to join the Bloodline.
I could see a Brock Lesnar going toe to toe with a Bronson Reed in some kind of like special thing.
I will say no, only because I still think there's a lot of heat, like genuine, like No, I'll just say that. I don't think Brock is coming back. I think had there not been all of this stuff with the Vince McMahon lawsuit, where Brock was like sort of mentioned, not by name, but allegedly mentioned.
If that had never come up, we would have seen Brock back by now.
Well, we would have seen Brock versus Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania, a match I would have very much enjoyed.
Yeah,
because
Dominic would have wiped the floor with it.
Yeah, exactly. But
yeah, I agree. I still think it's too soon for that. Honestly, if he just never came back.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. I wouldn't be surprised if that was it.
And I wouldn't honestly be that mad, especially if those allegations are true. Right. He can stay retired.
Right.
Bye. Never want to see him again, if true.
Right.
And it's weird that, listen, not to get too deep into it, but the silence doesn't help your case. Has he ever said anything about it?
I mean, I think there. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Need to look into that, but it's.
But also, like, I don't know. I feel like I don't even know.
Yeah.
Because I agree. If the allegations are just allegations, and they're not true. But at the same time, like, well, even if that's the case, like, why? I feel like making a statement in this particular case, either way, could make, I don't know. It's a weird time, so could make you still look bad.
Yeah.
Agreed. I don't know. I'm not the right person to ask about that.
I also don't know the specifics.
But I do think if in a perfect world where none of that was true, none of that ever happened, and we still got Vince the fuck out of there and still had everything else the same, it would have been fun. It would have been fun to see fucking a decked out Samoan inspired cowboy hat atop Brock's ponytail. God. Anyway, I don't think we're gonna see Bloodline Brock.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But it would have been what could have been, right?
Someone write fan fiction about Bloodline Brock. I think that's the only way we're gonna get that.
Oh God.
It could be rated G. Don't be weird.
I don't think they can. I don't
think fan fiction can be rated G.
All right, moving a little away from the WWE into the world of Marvel. Yeah. So you guys, this show has seen its run. Mm-hmm. And we've yet to talk about it because we were going to Colorado.
Oh my God, you're right. We watched the final episode on the plane to Colorado. Episodes, pardon me.
We're going to quickly talk about Agatha All Along. So the new Disney Plus series had its run on Disney Plus. Oh God damn, I can't talk.
Damn.
Oh my God. We saw the finale, right? The show is officially wrapped up. And would love to know your thoughts on the show overall, as well as those final couple episodes, and what you hope to see maybe next with our friend Agatha.
Spoilers ahead, folks.
Spoilers about it's been like almost 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So like
you finish it.
You'll be all right.
Yeah. So it's kind of the sentiment I've had this whole time. I've compared it obviously to WandaVision. If you know me and my thoughts on WandaVision, loved the first half of WandaVision. The second half was, pretty good. Didn't like the finale very much. Felt rushed. Because it was. I was worried that we would have a similar trajectory with Agatha All Along, but that was not the case. I think Agatha All Along was strong start to finish. The only issue I had... Okay, so they did something interesting with the final 2 episodes. We had a finale, and then we had like an epilogue episode, which was really interesting. You were the one that described it to me that way. And I was like, okay, that makes a lot more sense. It felt like very much like these were always meant to be released at the same time.
Right.
But we got to see a lot of Agatha's kind of tragic backstory, and how her relationship with death turned sour. Basically, it was like the beginning of the end of their relationship. And we see Agatha, what a complex, fun character. We see her sacrifice herself at the end to save frickin' Joe Locke. That's
she saved the actor.
You know who I'm talking about.
Billy Maximoff.
Billy multiples. 2 Billies.
Wiccan.
Maybe it's easier to say Joe Locke. So, but I was always hoping we'd get to see some of these characters continue on in other projects, used correctly. So now that we have like Ghost Agatha, and Billy and Lady Death still roaming around, we have that opportunity, which is good. So I don't know what exactly we're gonna see them in next. It would make sense if it was something like Vision Quest. They have this setup where they're gonna go try to find Tommy. Tommy. Tommy just got thrown into a new body, probably very confused.
Right.
So we got to go figure if we got to find him. So I think that'll be interesting. The one thing that I didn't like was Ghost Agatha. The ghosts in this film, this 8-episode film, 9?
9.
They looked stupid. They looked so stupid. Granted, okay, a lot of what they were doing in Agatha all along, they relied on like practical effects and didn't have like a lot of CGI to rely on, which I appreciated. It made practical effects look better. They look better all the time. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it until they needed good CGI. And it failed them because those ghosts look so stupid. And you were like, maybe it's the gray hair. And maybe it is. But also, how do you do a good convincing ghost? Especially if you want to continue on and have her pop up in things in the future. Like, she has to look there.
Yeah.
I think it was an interesting tightrope that they had to walk with that one. But I hate how the ghosts look.
I hear that. And, hey.
If that's my biggest criticism,
then, hey, the show must be pretty fucking good, right?
That's fine, yeah. Another thing is that the twist at the end of it all being Billy making up this road, I liked it, and I struggle with it because a lot of people theorized that, so it was something that was already in my head, especially when we got to see like his full expanded bedroom. So it wasn't like too much of a surprise or a shock. But what I'm interested in now is going back and rewatching everything, knowing that Agatha knew the whole time that the road never existed. It was something she made up with her son. And that everything that was happening because of Billy.
Yeah.
That's cool when you get to like something so big happens that you get to rewatch it with a whole new understanding and see new decisions that the actors made. Like everyone's pointing to when the door first appeared under Agatha's feet and her just being fucking
dumbfounded.
Yeah. Like that has a whole new meaning now. And the choices that she makes as an actor throughout those first few episodes are like doubly impressive. They were good at the time and now it's like more sense. Yeah, even more genius. Oh, she was so good. Catherine Hahn was so good.
Yeah, she's another one. I'm like, if she doesn't get an Emmy nod for her turn in as Agatha, I agree with almost everything you said. I really, really love this show. I think Marvel took a huge swing with just cutting its budget. And I'm not saying that I think this particular show, I think all of their budgets across the board need to be cut so that they can rely on more creativity, rely on strong writing and strong performances and direction. Like, I think you can obviously tell that there was care baked into this project from top to bottom, right? And I'm just kind of speaking generally, like for the whole entire season. Yeah, I think this is one of, for their TV, like, branch for Marvel Television, for the Disney Plus TV branch, I think this is one of their strongest. Now that I've seen all 9 episodes, I think this is one of their strongest shows. It's fun. It's moving at times. And these last two episodes, it's very interesting that like at first I thought it was like a weird like, oh, we're just trying to wrap the show up, like get all the episodes shown because we have something else coming out around these times or ending around these times. We don't want to distract too much from it. But the first two episodes being released and the last two episodes being released together make complete sense to me.
Yeah.
The first and second episode, like, that almost feels like it's like to the point, I don't mind that they didn't do it this way, but it was to the point where like I kind of wish they did what the Penguin did, because the Penguin had, which we'll talk about next, the Penguin had a very long season opener and a pretty long season closer, right? Mm. Both of those episodes probably could have been cut into 2 episodes each to like make for one more episode. I think that would have pissed people off. Yeah. But it almost feels like Disney Plus could have done that with episodes 1 and 2 of Agatha All Along and episodes 8 and 9 of Agatha All Along, because it felt like one big cohesive, like almost movie, right? Yeah. But I appreciate that they released all those episodes together, because seeing episode 2 directly after episode 1, I mean, how hyped did that make us feel? Like, holy shit, those were good.
Yeah.
You could say episode 1 moved a tad slow to introduce all these characters. They were all new characters to me, so I didn't care.
Yeah.
But the ending of episode 2, where they sing Down the Witch's Road, was incredible. Like, that was an incredible sequence. And I really, really like that they gave us an epilogue. I don't think I've ever seen them do that. The closest we sort of got to that was, and I'm sure there's other examples and better examples, but this is the first one that pops in my head, is Avengers Endgame. You know, after the big battle, you know, we're wrapping up all these storylines, you know, with Cap, with, you know, we had the funeral there at the end, or the memorial service, excuse me. And we start seeing all these, you know, we see Thor's going off with the Guardian. Like, we sort of get an epilogue where we see our original lineup kind of disbanding and going off. So I really like that we got to see, like you said, it was partially a flashback episode. And it is a cheeky way of like showing that because Agatha made up the story of the road, it's been Agatha all along. I thought that was a really neat way of playing with that idea, of giving them the title of the show a double meaning or triple meaning, however many meanings you want to give it. And it also, to what you were saying, how you use the example of her seeing the door to the road, like in that acting choice she made, like it gives it new context, new meaning. But also, I think on the line in the second episode where she's like, "Just blast me, you bitches!"
Yeah.
Because her plan, I mean, we kind of got this a little bit, that she just wanted to absorb their power, because we knew that was like her thing, that she could absorb their power, but not that she used this summoning the road as a way to do it. Like, she really made it seem like it was their idea to summon the road, because she told them from the get-go that it's not real. Yeah. No one believed her. She was like, well, fine, we're just going to do business as fucking usual. And like, that's such a cool thing to like, oh my God, like
and it's almost like a little bit in that moment of her, like, the other witches like didn't take this long to just start blasting me. So it's like, why are you guys taking so long? Right. Like, going back, that's kind of what I got from it too. Yeah.
So, and through the very end, like to the very last moments of the episode, we just, even as a ghost, we still see how much of a complex character Agatha really is, because she's still, even as a ghost, she's still murderer. Agatha.
She killed a lot of people.
And then there's like just glimmerances of like, okay, maybe she's not completely heartless. And yeah, I don't know. The way they show the origins of the song and just her rise to power by stealing others' power, all the different costumes she had.
Oh my God, that montage was so good.
And hearing the song one, I'm glad we got to hear the song one last time, because it's such a good song. But just, I don't know, like you could use Agatha's journey as like a metaphor for the witch's road, right? Because we see her going down the histories, taking all these witches' powers, right? So one could say that her road is the witch's road, all roads lead to Agatha. I don't know. Like there's a
lot of roads going on.
Right.
Windy roads.
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really, really like the show. I like that we got an epilogue because it gives me, I don't know, it gives me more closure, but also more hope that we'll see these characters again in some way, shape, or form. I wouldn't mind. I don't think we're going to see a season 2. I know this was originally intended as a limited series. They're doing something similar. I think they did with Moon Knight, where they submitted it for best like comedy or something for the Emmys, which is usually indicative. If they're not submitting it for best limited series, it's usually indicative of plans for another season. But they've been saying that Agatha all along is going to be, they being Marvel, that this is part 2 of the WandaVision trilogy, with the Vision show being the third part of that, right?
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll see that, but I really do hope that we see them in another supernatural, like whether it's a 1-hour TV special or in the next Doctor Strange, Blade, whenever the fuck that happens.
They could fit into a lot of different things. That's why I'm like, I don't know what we're going to see them in next, but I do think we're going to see them in something.
Yeah. And hopefully the next time we see them, the CGI will look a little bit better. I get the problems that you have with the and I mean, yeah, is it, we've never seen them do ghosts like that before, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, but I think maybe it was a budget thing. I think it was weird to have Agatha's hair be grayed out.
I mean, like,
and not just how it was when she died.
Because what is that? Did she get really, really old in death?
And also, when Agatha has these gorgeous curls,
her hair was so good.
What the hell are we doing, guys?
The whole season was so good. Like when it was just like, or the first, or was that the second episode where she had like those really like messy braids in her hair and she had like a hat on? She just pulled together that fucking outfit and that hair like she had just come out of a goddamn years-long trance and was like, let me turn a fit real quick.
I really do. One last thing I want to say, and this isn't, I mean, we all know the cast was phenomenal.
Yes.
Patti LuPone's episode, phenomenal.
Oh my God.
There's so much we could go on and on about. I really do hope, if nothing else, as much as I want the actors, the performers to win all the awards, right? If nothing else, this show better at least be nominated in most design awards.
Yeah.
Set designs.
Costume design. Costume design was
costume design
crazy.
should win at the Emmys. If that's it should be a category if it's not. But the costumer for this,
there's so much
went
detail
in their fucking bag. Like, oh my God.
It's crazy.
Love that. Loved it. And
you got to watch it. If you haven't seen it, you got to watch it. And the assembled for it,
it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube now, yeah, which is weird.
Yeah, it's a 1-hour making of episode.
It's on Disney Plus, but now it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's more accessible.
So staying in the realm of TV, comic book TV, actually, another one that just wrapped up its
Villain
run.
TV.
The Penguin over on HBO.
Yeah.
This might be up there for me. I don't know about you, but for me, this might be up there with one of my favorite shows I've watched this year.
Oh, 100%.
This show,
it's so good.
It stuck the land. This is what we were saying, like
we're traumatized
by shows just not sticking the landing.
And it was good through and through. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, there's not enough high praise I can give this show. The writing was brilliant. The performances were brilliant. The show was captivating, fucking heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, yeah.
Infuriating. Just like, especially the finale. Like, yeah. And it was such a well-paced show. Like, they really knew how to use the drama and the action. Because, I mean, it's still a comic book show, right? So it's a crime drama, so we're going to get those action sequences. Mm-hmm. And just turning this character who was, like, a really secondary villain
and like a joke villain
in the Batman. Had a cool chase scene. But, like, really not super, super important in the events of the Batman. Just his rise to power and how manipulative he is, mm-hmm. to the point where I'm like, I think he's manipulating himself to thinking things are real.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But just the finale itself, like, it was such a great finale, and I think it left everyone so excited to see the future of, because I think because the Batman is not part of the DCU canon. It's its own separate universe, right?
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why they're doing a different Batman movie, The Brave and the Bold. It'll be completely different actors.
Good luck.
Yeah, but this one I think there's a specific name they use. I think it's called the Batman Epic Crime Universe, something like that.
That's stupid. I'm sorry. Sounds stupid.
I think it's just to separate it, because I mean these are epic crime dramas, and I like that that's what they're gonna go. Not necessarily the title of a universe, but just like if that's the direction where we're gonna keep getting these like gritty detective-esque stories and like mafioso stories.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all
call it
in.
whatever you want.
And if that means that in the DCU we can get more of the weird villains like
Calendar Man,
Clayface or something like that.
Did you hear about Clayface? People's theories with Clayface and Penguin?
No.
I'll tell you about it in a second.
I've heard some theories about Scarecrow, which we might have called a little bit early on in the series. Not
correctly,
not as specifically, but we had hints. But again, I can't stress, like, I'm trying to think of everything in the I just love the show so much. It's hard to pinpoint any one thing or one episode.
Because it was so solid.
Yeah.
The whole way through, which is so rare to see.
Right.
But yeah, it was another. I don't even know. I've mentioned this multiple times. Like, I've never watched anything like that before. I've never watched any kind of mafia drama, anything like that. So it was kind of new territory for me. But yeah, it was almost like seeing the origin story for someone who was already a villain, like a villain's villain origin story. He went from a bad guy to a worse guy through this. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do with the character in Batman 2, whatever it's going to be called. I don't know. I
think it's the Batman Part 2.
The Batman Part 2. And we even, again, spoilers, but we even got tie-ins, like in the last episode, freaking, oh God, what's her name?
Selena Kyle?
Well, I was going to say Sophia Gigante got a letter from her half-sister, Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's fucking crazy.
And then at the very end, we saw the bat signal.
Also,
where the fuck were you?
Bats, I love you.
Where the hell have you been?
There's a fucking hole in the middle of Crown Point, guy.
The poorest part of the city got blowed up. What were you doing? If they don't explain that in the second one, I need to see, like, he better have been in the hospital or something.
Matt Reeves has made a comment talking about the Batman Part 2 and just saying, like, hey, this is going to be a really stressful time for our Batman because Gotham is kind of at its lowest right now.
I mean, that is
given
fair.
The events of the Riddler and now the Penguin. Like,
they said, hey guys, give him some grace.
Batman's fucking busy.
He's one fucking guy.
He's stressed.
Fair enough.
But you saying that reminded me. Mm-hmm. Oh fuck! Hang on, wait. It was just there. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So the show has done a really good job of like taking these, again, objectively horrible people. Mm-hmm. As much as, listen, she's done some bad, but there is no Sophia Falcone Gigante slander in this house.
I support women's wrongs.
Yeah, we just simply won't say a bad thing about her. Okay.
Hey guys, she had it tough.
She had a rough go of it.
Time of it.
So, but the show has done a really good job of painting these characters who are objectively horrible people, mm-hmm. and making them a little more sympathetic, right?
Yeah.
But what I love, and I love that they did this as hard as it was to watch. Spoiler alert! Spoiler! Mm-hmm. In Vic's final moments with Oz, you know, he tells Oz, you know, Vic really came through and saved Oz's ass in this episode, right?
Multiple times throughout the entire show, actually.
And he was like, you know, we all know, if you watch the show, you know Vic's kind of tragic story, everything he's gone through. And he tells Oz that he's like family to him.
Yeah.
And hearing that, I think, is what really ruined it for Oz.
Yeah.
Because
that's a liability.
Oz goes ahead and offs Vic in the most personal and brutal way.
Intimate. Yeah.
And like, and just the imagery of him throwing. First off, he robs Vic. He takes his money. But then he throws Vic's ID into the water, and I'm like, his family drowned in their apartment building, and now I'm watching his ID go into the water.
Vic's family drowned, and so did Oz's. His brothers drowned.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, it's double fucked. It's actually triple fucked. Because
I never put that together.
Yeah, I thought that because you mentioned, you were like, oh, because his family drowned. I thought you meant Oz.
No.
Like, yeah, he's used to that, to drowning his loved ones.
Fuck.
And it was like, I did not think. When I first saw Vic, I was like, he's dying. He's going to die in this series. He has to. He's simply too sweet looking. I didn't think he was going to make it all the way to the end, and I didn't know how he was going to die, but I figured he would die. I figured Sophia would kill him, honestly.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, but yeah, that was like so extra devastating.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, family terrifies Oz.
Yeah.
Because it's a liability. And he just exploited that.
Yeah.
So he's like, can't have that happen to me. Maybe he's alive. Maybe Vic's alive. Maybe he's fine. Maybe he played dead.
Probably not. I think he crushed his windpipe. Yeah, it really made for a devastating moment. But it also reminds you that, like, hey, this is a bad guy. Like, this is a villain. Like, we can't get out of this liking him. That's
the thing, is that he's likable. That's like you said, he's like, there's a level of sympathy you have for Oz, and he's charismatic.
And and
sometimes he's right. He says stuff and I'm like, damn, you're right.
Like,
but they needed him to do something so completely unforgivable to remind you, like, don't like this man. Like, right. He's bad.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. So anyway, love the series. There was something else about the finale I wanted to talk about. I can't fucking remember. There's so many reasons to watch this show. Mm-hmm. If Colin Farrell and Kristen Milioti don't sweep the nominations, if this show doesn't sweep in nominations,
it will have been snubbed.
Yeah, because
it was so good. They were so good.
This show was incredible. And it's not lost on me that two of the best shows out there this year, I'm going to say it right here, with Agatha All Along and The Penguin, both had women showrunners. Majority women directors, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm like,
is that a coinky-dink?
Is that a fucking coinky-dink, guys?
I don't know. And they were both comic book source material. Oh, do you want to hear about those theories? I saw someone's video on TikTok about theories of Clayface and Scarecrow. So when we were first watching it, as soon as Bliss came up and was described as this like mind-altering drug, we were like, hang on a second. I've heard of that one before.
From Arkham, I know that one.
So I think our initial thought was that Sophia was going to be set up to be
the Scarecrow.
The Scarecrow, which would have been cool. But apparently, I don't know if this is true, because people are saying like, oh, there was this like kind of scrapped plan or deleted scenes or whatever setting up the therapist whose name I forget.
Dr. Julian Rush.
Mr. Julian, Dr. Julian, set him up as the Scarecrow.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing too.
If you look back in the scene where Sophia's like digging around in his office, you see very clearly the Scarecrow glove with the syringes and the fingies and something that looks like the mask. And I mean, it makes sense. He's like a psychiatrist. He was doing that weird red light bullshit, making, what's her name? Frances?
Yeah.
Relive the most traumatizing parts of her life. And he was just like slipping in and out of it, if you remember, that was such a cool scene. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense that they would be setting him up to be that character. And I think it would be very easy for him. Who knows? We didn't really get a thorough understanding of how this drug was developed in Arkham. So maybe he had something more to do with it than we thought.
Right.
And if he can make you feel good, maybe he can make you feel terrible and scared, and use that along with his psychic abilities or psychiatric abilities to make you relive these horrible moments.
I could see them taking all the digital like billboards in like the
making
hub
them
of Gotham
red
City
lights.
and using the red lights.
That would be cool.
Matt Reeves, TM.
That one's ours. But yeah, so it seems to me that was like, that one checks out to me.
That makes sense.
I saw the glove on his desk because
Right.
people were pointing it out. That makes a lot of sense. And also, he's a weird little freaky little creep. He's a weird little freaky little creep who willingly goes back to a job in Arkham.
That was my thing. I'm like, how did you get that job back so quickly?
Well, my thing is that he probably left under... First of all, I don't know how many people are lining up to do that job. So, right. And he might have left on good terms willingly when Sophia got out.
Right.
So he probably was just like, hey, times is tough. Let me back in. He's so weird. He's so obsessed with Sophia. And she's like, whatever about him. And I find that funny. The other one, Clayface, is a bit of a stretch.
Stretch. Because he's Clay.
Yeah. People were saying she. People are saying that that lady whose name I forget, the Oz's like kind of girlfriend, but
his lover.
But he pays her to be.
List in front of me. Her name's Eve Carlo.
Eve Carlo. So, from what I've learned on TikTok, the Clayface guy is Basil Carlo. Oh, so people are like, same last name. And at the end, we see her dressed up as Oz's mom, dancing with him. Weird. And I even said, like, damn, she does look a lot like her. Like, that's kind of crazy how much they look like each other. Is it crazy? Or is that her skill?
Well,
people were saying like, oh, in her apartment, she has like a lot of wigs. And I'm like, have you, how some people have wigs.
Yeah.
I don't think that's that strange, but I don't know. It was an interesting concept to have someone, again, like sex workers are so overlooked. Right. Constantly. That I think it would be really powerful and make a lot of sense if that was the intent to make her this character, or she would one day become that character. I think it would be kind of cool.
Listen, another Batman show, which we loved, Caped Crusader, showed us, yeah, you can take these big swings and make these big changes to these iconic characters, make it make sense, and it not affect the storytelling or enjoyment of it. How many new versions of the characters did we see in that show? Man, that show was so fucking good.
That show was so good. I need to rewatch it.
It might be time for a rewatch. I do want to say real quick.
Yes.
I love that theory. I wouldn't be mad at it.
It's interesting, right? It's interesting.
Yeah. Before we go, I kept referring to them, but I want to get their names out there. Not that they need us saying their names.
Plug.
But like
the Press Periodical Rub.
The old ringside rub.
Yeah.
Deirdre O'Connell, who played Frances Cobb.
Yes.
Oh
my God.
Oh my God. I'm obsessed. She was incredible. She was so good. Oh my God. So I had to say her name because she was like not even like, I don't know, she's kind of the heart of the show. And just, I don't know, like watching her act, I'm just like, as an actor myself, I watch and I'm like, I cannot imagine like what it must feel like that, especially in the finale where, you know, she's professing her hate for her son.
I've hated you your entire fucking life. That's crazy.
And I'm like, oh my God, like this is, I'm watching a brilliant performance right now. And if I was in that scene, to have been one of the henchmen in the scene. And then of course we talk about Vic all the time. Renzi Feliz. I wanted to make sure I got his name correct. Also in Encanto. But yeah, he was also phenomenal in this show. I heard a clip of an interview he did specifically talking about playing this character and the difficulty he found with portraying an authentic stutter. If you know us here. Yeah.
Oh God, no. Stutters get me every time.
Yeah.
I grew up with a speech impediment and it sucked. And it's like, not to put it on the same level at all, because I did grow out of it in elementary school and I did not have to like go through adulthood with it. But like, it's so frustrating to try to say something and it's like your mouth, your brain can't make it. Like one time, I tell this story a lot. It's funny now. At the time, it was fucking terrifying. I got lost at the Florida State Fair in probably 2002. I was a kid. I had a speech impediment. My name has a lot of R's in it.
Yeah.
I couldn't say my R's. So they put the wrong name on the board when I was lost. Like, this was we're sending a text message blast, like, what's your mom's phone number? She didn't have a cell phone. So all they could do was like put my name on this missing child board, spelled incorrectly. My mom saw it and was like, I knew it had to be you. Who else what other person's named Kenwa? Nobody, because that's not even my name. Like, that's so terrifying to be in that position. And I kept trying to tell them, like, my name is Kendra, but they couldn't understand me. That's so scary.
Yeah. And go ahead.
So I also, an authentic stutter is hard.
Yeah.
Stuttering, it's not as like consistent, I think, as people think it is.
Yeah.
Like certain words can get you and you can be stuttering for like a while.
Or an emotional response, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. And then other times you're fine. You're just flowing.
So he said something super interesting. He was like, it wasn't the actual like stuttering that was the most difficult part. It was carrying the history of that stutter, you know, because you think of all the weight of everything you've experienced because of that stutter. Mm-hmm. So just basically talking about the emotional baggage of it, you know, like there was a couple scenes where he was talking to a pretty girl and, you know, she's trying to have a conversation with him and he's really struggling and she's nice enough about it, but she's like, you know, you could see the looks and that type of shit. He was like that he would have experienced his whole life. And I just thought it was a really like thoughtful response, because he was like, I don't have a stutter, and I really wanted to make sure it wasn't something that was funny or a joke, because this is a very real thing, and the frustration of not being able to control or wanting to say something but can't, which is why I love the scene where he's ordering at the restaurant and the waiter talks over him, or the server, talks over him, and Oz like loses his shit for it, right? So anyway, like, again, there's it's much like Agatha all along. There's so much I could talk about this show, the world building, the implications of the future of the franchise. Yeah. But just as its own thing, I have loved this show. Yeah. I'm sad it's over, and I really hope we get to see all these folks again.
We will. Well, truly, not everyone, because some people are dead.
Well, yeah.
The live ones, we will.
Right. But I can't wait to see, like, I hope Renzi Feliz books out of this world. I would love to see him who knows? Maybe there's a certain spider-themed character.
Maybe there's someone right behind you.
Maybe there's a certain spider-themed Marvel character he could play in the future.
I could easily see him doing something like that.
Yeah. I hope we get to see. I mean, this if there was ever a star-making performance, I got to give it to Kristen Milioti in this show.
Crazy. I'm so excited to see her back. Do you think we'll get her and Selena team up?
Are you kidding me?
Outfits!
The cat women. Are you kidding me?
The outfits would be fucking crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, before we ramble on and on about
we
how
have been
much
talking
we love
for
the
a
show,
long time.
we do have to wrap it up. We do have to get going. But thank you all so much for tuning in. If you're not already, please follow us on all of the socials, including Blue Sky, which I haven't added to this thing yet, but we are on Blue Sky now. So go check us out there. It's at perezperiodico.blue sky, whatever they are.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that's about.
Why do that, you know?
I don't know.
So follow us on all the socials, also including Twitch, where you can watch our live streams. We do live streams on Twitch and TikTok for pre-previews, which is our WWE-centric show where we talk about the upcoming PLEs, make predictions, chat with you guys, answer questions, hang out. It's a really fun time. All of our episodes all of our episodes of Ringside are on most major streaming platforms. You know, Apple Music, Spotify, that sort of thing. And it's on YouTube. You can now watch it on YouTube. Well, you've always been able to watch it. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. So check us out on all the things, and we will be back for another one really soon.
Yes.
All right. Amazing, you guys. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Oh.
See you real soon.